Hello, gentlemen. Today I want to talk about the landscape brushes, the custom landscape brushes, and how to use it to make some interesting thing. Let me show quick two example. So, for example, I have this plain road that procedurally generated the weight maps and the material layers. And the second, I have the one second, please. Yes, this is. I have these brushes that just made the landscape made it the same form like the object that be under landscape. It'd be useful, for example, if you work with the different technology when first create the level without any, and now change it for landscape to the landscape. Sorry. But first I need to make one disclaimer. This is not a beginner guide. This is guide for the gentlemen that have know about the render target, the texture editing, and some C++. So if that's all, let's start it. So first of all, some information about the landscape. First of all, when we create the landscape, I said when we create the landscape. Oh, okay. The landscape contain the landscape proxy. For example, every of this tile is the landscape proxy. The all information that we editing with landscape, for example, the height map that we use it, for example, to create the mountains, the weight map, for example, when we using for example, when we playing with the material layers and drawing the landscape. That's all the texture. The texture saved per the one landscape proxy, and the resolution of this texture we set up it at the start. It's the section size, the texture of the every landscape proxy. It's the section size plus 1 per the pair. For example, here it's the 64 per 64 texture. The landscape height map collect in one texture. It's use the red channel to make the main height information, and use the B channel to make the other interesting information about the height, as for example the middles for blending. So to make our height map not to very angle. I show you later what I mean. And when we use in material layers, let's move to our first example. Yes, please. For material layers, like here, we have 3 material layers, and the every landscape proxy collect them or every landscape material in the one RGB channel per texture. What means? For example, we have that 3 material here, and that means that every landscape proxy have one texture that have R like channel like grass, B channel like dirty, G channel like rock. If we have the second, the four material layers, the third material. Okay, sorry, that's my English. So the later material is just the alpha. Put it in the alpha channel. If we have more than 4 material per landscape, that means that we have 2 texture or more. So, how to use the landscape brushes? First of all, we can create it. We just need to create the new actor that have parent as the landscape blueprint brushes. Let's name it something like test landscape brush. We create it. We have something interesting events that we use it later to make our magic here. But first, let's put it in our scene. Let's open our map that we created. Let's make it landscape please blank. Okay, and after this, what we need to do, we just open the blueprint and move it our landscape brush at the scene. So, what the settings have every landscape brush? They have the affected height map, affected weight map, affected visibility layer, and the array to what layers we should to influence. Okay, and for example, the main of our custom landscape brushes, it's the event render layer. So what it means, they have the in parameters, they just collect some interesting information about layer type, the combined result, that's the render target that we should to use to update our landscape. Layers, height map and the weight map. And the weight map layer map, if we used our brush to update the weight map, that means material layer, so we have here the name of which layers were updated. This render layer is executed once for height map and execute multiple times per all weight maps that we put in this array. So let's create this short example. Let's first of all we must draw on this render target. To draw it, let's create begin draw canvas to render target. After this, we have the canvas, and we can using the main interesting nodes. And after we can end draw to canvas if we need it. So let's create something interesting. Let's, for example, make just one big box. For example, at the 0 coordinate. The all coordinate which we draw, it's the put it in the landscape coordinate. So that means that we edit in the global texture from 0, for example, to here to the 15 points. And let's our box little bigger, and of course we need to return our combined results into the return node. So after this we affected to the height map, and that's what we create. We just create the big box mountain, and for example, if we put more additional information about here, we can change the place of this box. So let's, for example, made it here, and we see that our height box is moving. If you have something trouble about drawing, that box is not draw, for example, when you change the parameters or something like this, you can just recreate this checkbox. So that's just short example about how it works. But let's back from the more interesting examples that I ready for you. So first of all, let's check how work this system that similar. Okay, thank you. Please, okay. That made our landscape as the meshes under the landscape. So first of all, let's open our test brushes. We need to first of all I need to discuss about you how to how the landscape contain the height map. Let's made small cheating and for example made something like this. Okay, let's just back to map that we create later, and I want to show you something interesting here. Okay, this is not that we need. Let's cheat in here. We need to text to and convert render target to text with the editor only. I just want to show how the input texture is because when we editing height map, we need to same texture to the output. So and the test landscape brushes, and let's update it just here. Okay, so we remove the alpha channel, and what we see here, first of all we see the red light. So the red light is the every time when we for example editing the landscape height map, we need to understand this is our height map. The middle, the ideal situation of every height map and the main height map is we using two channel per height map. It's the red channel and a green channel. The red channel default value is 0.5. That means that our landscape is just static and it's not changing. When we made it any changing, the one per our red channel, it's the highest top of the landscape. It's the highest top of every landscape. It's this near, if I write the cent, 26,060. So, for example, here, this position is the one per red channel, as we see. The green channel using to blend it where our red channels. It's have near 200 unit period, and that means that, for example, between this red level and the second red level, it have something this blending height struct. That means that if we, for example, want to try to get this point, we need to take our red level of this point and multiply it per 36,000 and take our yellow level and multiply it per 200 unit. So our example that I show you later, this is our example, work absolutely the same thing. Let's first of all, I take every texture point that can editing. For example, here I using the texture 61 per 61. That means I take the every 63 per 63. That means I take the wall position from every this. That means that I take the wall position from every this texture point. How I made it? This is not the default Blueprint library node. This is node that I write on the C++, but the code is really simple. That means that you can do it without any problems. That's just two static functions in the Blueprint library. That's just take the nearest landscape proxy and made this, I said, not a very simple and understandable operation. Just to landscape actor to world and in very standard form. If I want to transform world position to the landscape position, and if I want to landscape position to world position, I made the same thing, but not inverse transform position, just transform position. That's all that you need. I send code later in the comments or something like this, or a description of video. So after this, I have the two variables here. It's just the multiply blend. That's the variable that presents our yellow step level. Every yellow step, it's near 200 unit. If we have more, we just made new red step, and yellow step is made to us to 0. And it's very simple. I just made our yellow step, made the fraction that take only the last part of the float variable, made the clamp. This is maybe important part of view because our channel our result channel not really like when, for example, yellow channel is become have one variable, because if I remove this clamp node in the very interesting form, that's have something trash results, like for example them very small so let's have just trash results. I'm not sure how I need to formulate it correctly. And here I just to, of course, get the red out channel and subtract it 0.5 because the landscape is starting with the default position. So that's, I suppose, the all that we need. The other thing that we get just lowers position, that it's useful to calculate the other thing in the our main function to draw random target, and after this I just to put our random target in the output variable. So that's all, and that's how our system works. If we, for example, made something more interesting then, let's just I'm not want it to really big, let's just do something like this, okay. And let's update our test branch, or just mode it in the landscape node. You see that's we have this sphere to the landscape. You can find more interesting useful operation for it if you just check it and improve your fantasy of it. Okay, and let's talk about how to make it interesting thing with the weight maps. The principle is really simple, but we have something interesting thing in the render target. So the render layer function, if for height map it's apply once, and for the render layer it's apply many times per every where is it? Okay, per every affected weight by players that we put in this array. That means that, for example, here the render layer target apply 3 times, and every time it apply with the base unique name. So you can see here it. So that means that we need to just, if we, in this example, we just need to write the road, and that's how I made it. I just to check is this is correct layer that should be applied. As for here, I applied the dot. After this, we just get all the interesting spline with the tag, and after this I just made the all other draw line, all other layers in this position to the black, and after apply, and only for our dot I apply better, so there's something value to our line color. We using only red channel when we work with the weight maps using the blueprint brushes. So that's all. The only problem of this thing that you have something trouble when you're trying to, for example, blend it two weight maps in the one position, but that's not very hard problem. Is thinking about it, you can solve it. So that's all. But at the end I want to show you how to first of all, there's something other function that we have here. That's get blueprint render dependence. That's just simple. By default our system not load the textures when it applied it, and we can put here the all textures that we need use to render layer target materials and other stuff things. And the other thing is the initialize. That's just the function that, like begin play, it's apply only once, and you can use it of course for the some other thing, but I'm not sure that you should it using, because for example if you just receive some information like the landscape size and the other thing, if you create the new landscape added something new landscape proxy to this landscape. This Intel is not play again. So my advice to use all need in the render target. And at last I want to show you some main thing that we need to understand when we're working with the height maps, because in the height maps we have a very cool function that names export the height map data in the height map. I think that I suppose that's the very interesting function, and the main interest in this function is that we not really want to update and using our blueprint brushes at the for example runtime or every time update. Because every update of for example our test brushes, it's take some times and it take a lot of resources. So that means that when we for example use our blueprint brushes for some interesting thing that our procedural thing or something like this, we can cache it. Just we need to manage import export and to select the text that we exported. And the most powerful of these instruments is that our export height mapper data it's absolutely correct when we try to import it. For example, when I solve this task using the other instruments like the Blender or something like this, when I try to import the output result, it's have a lot of troubles with the setup, with the polygons, and with many other things. But when I use the blueprint brushes, import is the absolutely same size, same correct things and other thing as we get it after our blueprint brushes. So I suppose that's all. And one more thing about it, we can use it. So we can't. Let's say that we can't using the blueprint brushes at the runtime. This is the only procedural instrument that we can use it in the editor. If you're trying to change something, landscape parameters, landscape height data, and landscape material data at the runtime, you need to use some other instruments. But let's talk about later. I not talk it at this instrument today. So that's all. Bye.